I saw the opportunity instead of the economy. So I looked at what was happening in the market. I saw people cutting their prices. I saw people shutting, but I made the decision that if I'm going to expand my businesses, this is the time to do it. What's a surefire way you can get to multiple six figures, seven figures, even beyond in your coaching, consulting, or professional service business? Well, I could sit here and give you a lot of strategies and tactics and things that you can do, but what I really want to talk about today is how you think. I want to talk about making bold moves. I want to talk about breaking through resistance and getting out of what feels comfortable, because the major things happen on the other side of resistance. The major things in business, the success, the high success happens when you get out of fear and you step through that fear and you do things anyway, even though you might be scared. So that's what this is all about today, is making bold moves so that you can build the business of your dreams. All right. So what are some of the bold moves you might have to make in your business? Some of the resistance that comes in when you're trying to go bigger, you're trying to do bigger things. Well, when you're just starting out, you have this fear of starting, right? I remember when I first started out, I wanted to work with some business owners to see if I could help them, because even though I built a lot of businesses and sold them, and I really believed that I had the skills and the knowledge and the expertise, I wasn't quite confident in what I could do for other people. Can I transfer these skills to other people? And so, but I stepped out. I went to some business owners that I knew and I said, I want to see if I can help you. I want to become a business coach and I want to see if I can help you. And that was 14 plus years ago. And of course, I could help them. In fact, I remember my very first client helped her run a 300% increase in her store in that very first week we worked together. My second client, I uncovered a $500,000 opportunity in their business that they were missing, and it wouldn't have cost them a dime to implement it. So when those things happened, I said, okay, I definitely know what I'm doing here, and I'm going to step into this boldly. And so now, of course, 14 years later, I've worked in over 70 different industries. I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I've educated hundreds of thousands of people through things like this and seminars and workshops and speaking on stages and all those things. But all of those things took bold moves. So let's talk about the bold moves you can be making to get to that next level in your business. I was on a conversation call yesterday with someone who was interested in my services. He had seen me on YouTube, he had seen me in different places. And so he came to that call and he said, I know you're the person that can help me. But when we talked about my program, the investment was quite a bit more than he was really expecting to pay, although he knew I was not a low ticket coach. But he said, I'm not afraid to do big things. I know that if I want to get to the levels that I want, I need to do things differently and I need to make a big investment. And this is one of the very first things that I want to talk to you about. What are you willing to invest in that might be a bit scary? Because here's the thing, if you're working with coaches who are very cheap, inexpensive, that's probably what you're going to get, right? You can't get the best if it's the cheapest. And if someone is the best, you can't expect them to be the cheapest, right? So when you think about this, what are some bold moves that you've maybe passed up or haven't taken action on or done so that you can get to those higher levels? Because that's what it takes. I want to tell you a quick story about 2008. I was running two businesses. I had a health club and I had a weight loss center, and the recession hit. And for some of you, you're like 2008, that's way back when. But just stay with me here because the point is still valid to what's going on today. So we're in this recession. Businesses are shutting down all around me. Of course, I had brick and mortar businesses. I didn't have the luxury of all this online stuff. And businesses were shutting down everywhere. And I saw the opportunity instead of the economy. Let me repeat that. I saw the opportunity instead of the economy. So I looked at what was happening in the market. I saw people cutting their prices. I saw people shutting down. All these things were very, very scary. Of course, the housing market, it just collapsed, right? But I made the decision that if I'm going to expand my businesses, this is the time to do it. My thinking was, okay, if I'm not going to be able to make the same amount of money I was making in my businesses that I currently had, then let's expand this so that my income doesn't have to drop. I can still keep my business up there. But at the end of this recession, I'm going to have four businesses instead of two. And that's exactly what I did. We went all in. I convinced my husband, I negotiated with him, I convinced him that we needed to do this. And we did. And we put everything on the line to be able to make that bold move. Now, you might be thinking that's crazy. You put your house on the line, we had property, we put that on the line, everything that we basically own to expand. But here's what really happened. Yes, it was scary, but I knew that it was going to be the right thing to do. And I also knew that because we had everything on the line, I was not going to fail. I could not fail. I could not, but I mean, I just couldn't fail. So I knew going through the recession, it was going to be hard. It was going to be difficult. And I just needed to keep my head above water, get the thing going, get it growing. And then when we came out of the recession, it could really explode. It would be established and it could explode. And that's exactly what happened. And long story short, I was able to sell all four of those businesses later, and it changed our lives financially. But that's just one story. I could tell you story after story about making bold moves in my business that every time I did, I leaped. I mean, I really leaped and it catapulted my business. And I still operate that way today. I was on a podcast yesterday as a guest, and I was really nervous about being on this show because this particular guy that interviewed me, he's done big, big, big things, billions of dollars, not just millions of dollars, but billions of dollars in business. And so I was nervous about going on his show. I thought, I mean, I've had great success in business, but he's had way more success than I have. And I thought, no, I need to do this. I need to step up my game, right? Get into the right rooms. I teach that to people all the time. Well, long story short, the conversation was exceptional. And at the end of it, he was blown away by what I do. And he said, wow, that sounds amazing. And so I had skills and knowledge and expertise that he didn't have. And so it was just a really great conversation. But the reason I'm telling you that is because if I would have stopped myself from doing that because I was intimidated or I thought, kind of that imposter syndrome that sets in, right? Oh, am I good enough? If I would have stopped myself from playing that bigger game, I would have missed out on such a great opportunity. Number one, I would have missed out on meeting a really incredible person and building a great relationship, but I would have also missed out on being able to impact the people that listen to his show and get my name out there in a bigger way and be more visible, all the things that I teach people to do. So that was one fear that I recently had that I had to break through. But I could just tell you I mean, so many things along the way where I have to break through resistance. But here's what I want to tell you. Whatever it is right now that you're afraid to do, that is the thing you should be doing. That is the thing you should be stepping out of the resistance, breaking through, busting through that resistance, and going bold. When you do that, you will find the rewards on the other side. And here's what I know about doing things even when you're fearful, doing things even when they're hard, doing things even when you're unsure, but you feel in your gut like this is what you should be doing. If that is the case, listen to your gut, trust yourself. But just because something feels scary or it feels like, oh my gosh, can I do that? That is the exact thing you should be doing. And I will tell you that fear, I've always said this, I've said this for years and years. Breaking through fear and breaking through resistance is like building a muscle. Think about this. If you go to the gym, you don't go and you do 10 bicep curls and you go, whoa, look at my muscle, right? You don't do that because that's not realistic. But if you do it time and time and time and time again, guess what? You have that muscle, like it's built up and you can see it and you can recognize it. And that's exactly how fear and resistance are in your business. When you start stepping out boldly, you start doing those bold things, you start making those bigger moves, you are building this muscle that will be unstoppable because guess what? Most people won't do that. Most people will stop themselves when something feels uncomfortable or something feels a little bit fearful. But that's not how you build success. So it doesn't matter whatever your big goals are, you can achieve them, but you've got to be willing. You've got to be willing and actually excited when you see that resistance and that fear show up because now you know, oh my gosh, there is a big breakthrough on the other side of that. This is exactly what I should be doing. So the thing you're resisting the most is the thing you should be doing. So I hope you find this valuable. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what bold moves you're making. I make bold moves every single day. You should be making them too. I hope you found this inspiring. Let me know. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. Make sure you hit that notification because I release new content like this to help you grow an amazing rockin' business every single week. All right. I love you. Have an amazing day. God bless you. Bye-bye.